some other memorable events were when we went to the morning walk on Juhu Beach, famous morning walks with Dr. Patel, where he would be arguing with Prabhupada and Prabhupada would defeating, smashing his philosophy. So, every day, Dr. Patel had a very arrogant personality, but with Prabhupada, Prabhupada was like a snake charmer, He was charmed by Prabhupada. Only with Prabhupada, he would only be respectful to Prabhupada, nobody else, no other devotees. He would criticize every devotee except Prabhupada. And Prabhupada also philosophically would argue, but with respect. And Prabhupada also respected him. That Dr. Patel was proud that Prabhupada is like my elder brother. He was thinking like that. He said, oh, in previous life, I must have been your brother. Prabhupada would just encourage him. So, one day, Prabhupada said something about Ramakrishna, Paramhans. He said that Ramakrishna philosophy is totally bogus. Yato mat tato pat. And you can eat anything, you can do anything, and that's all the same thing. So this is totally bogus philosophy. It's atheism. And then he was criticizing Daridra Narayan philosophy. Daridra Narayan, Vivekananda had coined this term, Daridra Narayan, that Narayan is not in the temple, but he is in Daridra, means poor man. So better you serve the poor man than going to the temple. So Prabhupada was criticizing this, that if Narayan is in Daridra, then why not in the rich also? And if Narayan is in the man, then he is also in the chicken. So you are trying to serve the poor man and kill the chicken and eat. So Murgi Narayan, you are eating Murgi Narayan and you are serving Daridra Narayan. So your philosophy is contradictory. Prabhupada said that, why are you calling Daridra Narayan? He is Daridra. You want to serve him, you want to give him something. On Daridra you can bring compassion, but serve Narayan. You can be compassionate to poor men, but service should be rendered to Narayan, to God. So this kind of confusion has made Bengal ruffians. That's what he was saying. So this one man, Gujarati man, Mr. Shah, he became bewildered totally. He just completely flipped out and he started shouting, you criticize everybody, you do this, you do that. You don't respect any other saintly person, you only think that you are right, this is not good, why you say like this, he was a great man. So devotees were very upset, they were going to physically remove him. Prabhupada said, no, let him speak. Prabhupada was very calm, just walked. He just said, I am not saying anything, I am simply saying what Krishna is saying. Namam duskutino mudha papadyante naradhama. Those who are miscreants, foolish, whose knowledge is stolen away by Maya, they do not surrender to Krishna. So Krishna is saying they are miscreants. So on behalf of Krishna I have to say this. I have nothing against that person, but I am trying to teach my disciples, how to judge the philosophy. That much he said. Then we walked silently back to the temple. And then Guru Puja started and devotees were offering flowers. So this Mr. Shah, he was also offering flowers every day. So that day he offered flowers to Prabhupada and he put his head on Prabhupada's feet and started crying. He started crying bitterly like a baby, He felt repentant. And Prabhupada put his hand on his head and said, it's okay. But he said, from tomorrow on we are not going to discuss anything. We are just going to read Krishna book. So from that day on, devotees would read Krishna book, one of us. And Prabhupada would hear on the whole morning or while walking we would read Krishna book. It started like that.
There's another story. I didn't know if I wanted to tell this one, but I will. because some of my other God brothers have confirmed this, that you could be in a room with a bunch of devotees, and Prabhupada could reveal something to you that the other people in the room cannot see. I don't know if you've ever had that experience, but a few of our God brothers have. I've had the experience. One morning in Delhi, it was a wet morning, kind of drizzly, moist, and we went to a park with Srila Prabhupada. We drove. We got out of the park and walking. And that morning, Prabhupada was not saying a word. He was just chanting, very heavy, very intense. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So we're walking with Prabhupada down the path, and we're just all chanting. So all of a sudden, Prabhupada goes off the path onto the grass. And it's kind of wet, so we're like wondering, where's Prabhupada going? And we're walking through this park. All of a sudden, he comes up to this little hill, and there's 3 trees, like 2 on the side and 1 in the back. So it made a little cave in there. They were only like this high. It's like big bush trees. So we could see Prabhupada's walking right for these trees. So we like run ahead and put our chatters in there. Prabhupada walks right in, sits down. Still chanting, not saying a word. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. All of a sudden, to my eyes, Srila Prabhupada started to emanate an effulgence that was incredible. So incredible, it lit up the whole inside of that thing, and I could not make out Prabhupada's features. It was completely molten gold. And I was sitting there just awestruck, watching Prabhupada. And then Prabhupada came back, a minute. It seemed like forever. But when he came back, he looked in the distance, and there were 2 men walking like 3 football fields down. It was quite a distance. If it was somebody you knew, you probably wouldn't have recognized him. You wouldn't have known who it was. Prabhupada goes, those 2 men, I know them. We're all like, okay, Prabhupada. He goes, yes, I used to buy paper from them before I came to America for my Back to Godhead magazine. I'm like, wow, Prabhupada. And he said, go see. He like sent 2 devotees, go running. They start disappearing, You come back with these 2 guys, sure enough. These are 2 guys, and they paid their obeisances to Prabhupada, and they were so emotional and so ecstatic to see Prabhupada. It was really something to see. That's a story I usually kept for myself because I don't know if people can understand, but it's true. Why did I see that? I have no idea. Causeless mercy. Yeah, definitely. Prabhupada told us many times Krishna would come down and sit next to him and tell him exactly what to say. So maybe I got a little glimpse of Krishna pulling up in his chariot. I don't know. I have no idea. But it was really a beautiful thing.
Another time we were going on a morning walk, and on the way from the temple to the beach, on the right hand side there is a person that's running a music class. So he came and offered obeisance to Prabhupada. So his Prabhupada said, yes, so what is your name? What do you do? Oh, I'm running a music class. Oh, in that building, such and such music class. So he was surprised. You remember this, Swamiji? So he said, yes, one should be observant.